Hi, Dagobert from Dagobert Tackle World here with Stuart Grice. How you going,
Oh,
Stuart?
Dougie, I'm going good, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the weather looks good this weekend, so I'm feeling great.
It's getting better, mate. It can't
is.
get any worse.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you a good report. This is for this weekend, the 28th, 29th and 30th of April.
That's right. Long weekend.
Long weekend it is.
Yeah.
Monday's a holiday as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it's Thursday today, so we're going to push this out tonight, and you'll know for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday what you're going to be doing.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with the offshore reports, Stu.
Yes.
So
This is a bit of a. This is what should be happening
This is
because we don't
preempting.
know what is happening because
We've
no
had
one's been out.
Well, we've had 13, nearly 14 days of constant 30-knot winds and monstrous seas, and those seas still are monstrous. So, guys, you've got to be really careful this weekend going across that bloody seaway and other bars around the joint too.
Yeah.
It's going to be run out tide in the morning on daylight or before daylight. Like, you just would not cross it before daylight, not at the moment. And you just be really visual.
You do.
Watch the sets, understand it before you even go across it, look at it. I can't tell you how to do it, so you guys got to work that out yourselves, but you just got to be really careful. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
Just, the golden rule is anything over a metre, it can break on the run out tide. The tops roll over, and at the moment there's a bit of a sandbank there and it goes right across. So there is no really clear channel at the moment on the run out tide. On the run in tide, if the swell's up around 2 metres or 2.5 inches at the moment, it will still break on the run in tide. So you have to be really careful.
Yeah, and the other thing is we can't tell you how to do it and stand there and say go this way, go that way. It changes every day.
Yeah, it does.
So
even in ourselves, we need to go look at ourselves and decide what we're going to do before we go across it. So just be really careful, okay? And if you've got a little boat, make sure it's seaworthy and make sure you get your safety gear and that sort of stuff. Probably stay away maybe till Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So you go. But the swell's going to be big on Saturday morning, okay? And Sunday morning it does get a little bit better, but the wind picks up a little bit. And Monday, the swell gets a lot better, back to about hopefully 1.2 metres.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be run out tides, it's still going to be yucky. And the winds, so, not too bad. It's changing constantly, so we can't even give you a good wind report. All I can tell you is Saturday is not much wind, but the swell's big. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the fishing. So what we are thinking is going to be happening, mackerel. Stu,
mate, they've had a very good break. This has been the best closure they've ever had because it's a weather closure.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and good timing straight after the reopening. But guys, you're going to be looking at, it's the same tide as we had 2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks before that when they smacked the mackerel up at Jumping Pin and down at Mermaid as well, and a few at Palmy. And I dare say they'll be at the front. The Spanish should be on at the front as well. So the water has dropped a little bit. It's about 24 degrees. So when you get a lot of wind, when we get a southerly blows for a day or so, it blows the warm water that's coming down the coastline from up north into our bays, and that and the water gets warm. But when you get a consistent 2 weeks of southerly, it blows the cold water from down south in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really
doesn't always have a good effect.
It doesn't have a good effect as good as a little blow.
Yeah.
So the water has dropped. It's down to about 24 or 20. It's probably 25 out wider, but it's still hard current. Yeah. But in close, it's a bit cooler. Yeah. So that may bring the snapper on too. But mackerel would be my pick. I'd either go mermaid. It'll go up to maybe the Jumping Bar area and just north of Jumping Pin Bar area. Make sure you get heaps of metals. Like
heaps of metals, mate. Yeah. Anywhere from about say 20 grams up to 50 grams.
Yep.
Yep.
And you're in that sort of 12 to 20 metre depth is the spot where you look for the birds, you look for the slash stick on the top of the surface, and you want to spin out at about 7 foot.
Yep.
30 pound braid, 4,000 or 5,000 size reel, and you get upwind of the fish and just cast back in with the wind behind you. And away you go, spin them and hang on tight. Make sure your drag's not set too tight or too loose, and have a good time.
Yeah. The other thing is, you can troll pillies and stuff
troll,
like that,
and guys have been smacking on that, Stu. That's the traditional type rig that we use.
Yeah, it is, mate. So weighted first hook, nose cone.
Yep.
We'll show you how it works in the store. It's nice and easy, but
rig them up for you.
Yeah.
And then we got the one that we introduced earlier this year. It's been going really well. And that's that fellow there with the bobble. We've finally got the bobble jets back in again, the Venturi jets.
Venturi head. Apparently.
Okay. Yeah. With the cone as well. We can show you how to do that as well.
Yeah.
They work really well, and that gets all up inside that head and works great.
Yeah.
Comes in all different colours, and we got all different colours. Every colour you can think of. And even got a Lumo blue colour too, Stu.
We do. Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be the go for mackerel. Maybe worth a try. These hooks are sharp too, by the way. I've got one stuck on my shirt. Have a try out at the back of the 50 metres. Now, 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, when they caught a few fish, there was some big wahoo caught just out along the 50 metre line out the front end. And I did say go get the wahoo out in that area, and some of our customers did, and they're like 20, nearly 50 pound wahoo. Yeah. And they'll catch them on this type of thing, Stewie.
Yeah, so like fast trolling, metal head style. Yeah. So you can troll them at quite a reasonable speed and they hold in. Yeah. Speed-wise, Dougie, what do you reckon? 12 knots?
Yeah, about roughly? 10 to 12 knots. Yeah. 8 minimum if you're going to try and get a Spanish or maybe a yellowfin as well. Yeah. But if you want to just crank it up for the wahoo, 10 to 12 knots. 12 knots is really good. Yep. Trolling deep divers as well, Stuart.
Yeah, been working pretty good as well, mate. You've got a couple there. Just anything that dives to around about, say, that 6 metres plus. Yeah, definitely 6 to 10 metres.
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of guys will start using downriggers now for the next month on the Spanish mackerel because they're normally down a bit deeper, as we say. And trolling live bait's really slow, works really well too. If you want to use this type of rig here on a gar, actually to get rid of the bobble one, we'll go to this one, sorry. And we've got bigger versions of this, by the way, and heavier leads too. All you do is at the top here, you run about another 2 or 3 metres of 80 or 100 pound mono, so quite a heavy leader. And then above that, you run a small section of 2 swivels, and you run 1 8-ounce barrel or 2 8-ounce barrel sinkers in between that. So it's up the line a bit. So you need to manhandle the fish to the boat once you get it 3 metres from the boat. But that'll get your line down on the angle now, the same as a downrigger. It gets it way down there. And you actually got to be careful if you stop and hook a fish up on the other line, that line will actually hit the bottom and get stuck. So you're trolling in that sort of 20 to 40 metre depth. And that's how you troll your lines down really, really quick, easy, without using a downrigger. Yeah. So we can teach you how to do that too. Yep. Stewie, a few marlin caught last couple of weeks ago too.
Mate,
yeah, little blacks.
Bits and pieces, mate. Yeah. So just trolling the small little skirts. Basically the same as the ones that you'd be trolling around Christmas time. Yep. But anything around that, say, 6 to 8 inch size, been working really well.
Yeah, guys sort of forget about the marlin for some reason. They go mackerel fishing, as we always say. But they're still out there, and there's plenty of dollies as well. And the wahoo obviously will eat those. But don't want to chew up good skirts, but they do. But good fish makes up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, so give that a go. Yep. Stewie, fads for dollies. Obviously, we talked about dollies before, but a few dolphin fish around as well. Yeah,
it's been quite good. And like after this big blow, they would have had a nice break, Dougie, and growing. They grow very quick, so they're definitely at the worthwhile catching size.
Yeah. So give them a go. The little ones will be in, they'll still be legal, but on those closer fads, 36 fathoms, and the bigger ones should be out in the 50 fathom fads. Yep. We need to get back out there, Stuart, and show you how to do it again. We haven't been out for a few months in the dollies,
I know, mate.
As in together. We've been out, but we haven't been out together to give each other heaps of crap. But anyhow, next time. Sure, you'd probably cast all. I know. These G controls. These are Japanese. They rock, and they work well in the spotties and Spanish, by the way. But they're about 40 grams. So a lot of time you get a bit of pressure from the boats around the fads if you actually go down deep and let your line sink down and work it back up through the fish you see on the sound or the bait. They love those things, but they also work on the surface, just one fast.
Yeah, I like little poppers and stick baits and stuff like that. That's just one of the new little pencils that we've got downstairs, Dougie.
Oh, good.
They work with treat,
Obviously, you're getting it there before the boats get out there, Stu.
Mate, the fish just know that I'm on the end of the rod, so they just come crawling, but anyway.
You now know what I put with. Okay, so Stewie. Anything else offshore? Spanner crabs? I haven't heard much on the spanner crabs. We obviously haven't heard anything on anything for 2 weeks. We're all thinking what's going to happen, and hopefully it will.
Predictions.
Yeah, but if you're going to go sapper fishing, guys, give them a go. In on the close reefs, I'll be trying with ball jigs or whatever, this sort of thing. The Canis type jigs are really good. And 36s, same deal. Floatline pillies obviously works as well. And then on 50s, this is pearl perch prime time. So
it is, mate.
If the weather looks really good to get out there, I'd be just hitting the pearlies on that 100 metre line outside the 50 edge. Find the wire weed, find the pearlies, and have a great time. Yeah. That's probably it for offshore. We've got the heavy tackle comp on this weekend too, guys. If you want to do a last late minute dash and join up, you can still join up right up to Friday night. It's at the Gold Coast Game Fish Club. If you jump onto their Facebook page, you'll see the link to the competition with the Garmin 2023 Blue Marlin Classic, it's called. And it's a great comp. Like I've fished it many times over the last many years, and had a fat time, had a great time. Good fishing, big fish, some really scary big fish actually, but great fun. And bycatches are obviously going to be out wide. You're fishing outside 100 metres, so really big wahoo, really big dolphin fish and yellowfin tuna as well. But obviously the Blue Marlin is a scorer. Line class can be, I think, 24 kilos worth more points than 37 kilo. And if you game, you can try 15, but same points as 24, I think. Yeah. So give that a shot. You've got to be a member of the game club or a game club to join in the competition as well. They've got heaps of prizes too. Like, I don't know how much, maybe I'm guessing around maybe 80 to 100k for the prizes. So it's pretty big. It's pretty good. Yep. Anyhow, give them a crack. Stewie, we are now going to look at Inshore jumping pin.
Jump in, definitely. Look, it's a really good tides this weekend for chasing flatties, Dougie.
Yes.
They've kind of started last weekend. Pertec Challenge, blew, rained, done all that stuff, but there was a lot of fish apparently caught.
A lot of consistency in the size was something I'd never seen before actually.
Like bigger than average.
60 to 80 consistent. It's pretty good fishing. And I would generally recommend the back blocks. Definitely.
So up around Cabbage Tree, Jacob's Well type area. Basically anywhere where you'd find prawns, I'd be fishing for flathead. Yeah, that's probably about right. Back end of Tiger Mullet Channel, back end of Russell on the northern side, definitely. And it is fishing the edge of the banks. Fish the edge of the banks is a pretty good secret there. At this time of the year. As it goes on, then move more into the main channel, out towards the front of the bar. That's when you start changing your total fishing technique. Fish deep. Or up in the flats. Up in the flats, Stewie? Mate.
So that there is actually
there's a few up around.
They're always on the flats.
They're always on the flats. They're always up there chasing whiting and stuff. Bigger bait. Mullet.
We're both scratching our head at the same time because you know why? We don't want to tell you too much of our secrets, but because we fished a flathead classic. But they do work up the flats. We know that, Stewie. You're showing colours that shouldn't be showing, but we just got these. We got the new Chrysler's. Crossfire, that's it. And they are really good.
Now, Dougie, you just made a comment that you fish a flathead classic. I reckon I fished a flathead classic and you turn up, but anyway.
I'm making sandwiches.
We'll see how we go. The lunch was last year, the year before was good. Anyway, but so they're really good, mate. Dougie, we had a bit of a fish down this end.
We did yesterday in 30 knot winds and we got actually smoked by rain. Oh gosh. Anyhow, but we only fished for a couple of hours and we got a few. But nothing really big. I think I got the biggest by memory, Stu.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah.
We always go off numbers, and I caught 3 and you caught 1, so that's all right.
Okay.
And just on the fused plastics again, Dougie, mate.
Yes. Well, lucky I was using those. Lucky I kept away the 28 centimetre ones that Stewie caught. But anyhow, they are really good, guys. Fuse is my go-to, as you probably know. I love them, and I use them with I tell you what. I used to use big jig heads, like 3/4 up down to 3/8. So 3/8 to 3/4, half is my go-to actually. It doesn't matter if it's 1 foot of water or 3 meters of water. I'd use it, and now I've learnt to use very light. And now my go-to with that is actually a 1/5 Ned lock head from TT in the orange. Mark my words, give it a go. It's only a very small hook, size 1 or 1.0. Catches 80 centimeters without even thinking about it. Works really well. Anyhow, try it. Stu, you like the prawns, mate?
Yeah, mate. We caught a couple on prawns as well, but I caught 1 on prawns and the rest on that. But just pull a weedless hook out, put a jig head in, 1 hook exposure, and they've been working really good. The other thing, Dougie, squid. The squid have kind of started.
They have. So the water's very clear, like super clear. For all that southerly we've had forever and ever. The only problem is if you're on shallow areas and you get windy, it'll dirty it up, right?
Brown it up,
But as the wind drops off and all that clear water comes in from offshore, it's going to be super clear over the next week, which means squid time. And I know Moreton Bay, they're absolutely smoking them up there. The big ones too, the calamari squid. I had a friend of mine, a customer, was fishing out on Moreton. I think he got 26 or 28 or something a couple of weeks ago, during the start of this bad weather. And they were consistently everywhere he went. So down the Gold Coast here, we're starting in the Arrows. At the end of the day, they're definitely starting to show up. I see Clint from River Fishing Charters. Is it the right name?
Gold Coast River Charters.
That's the one, yep.
Yep.
Going to Clint, going to Brad. They've been getting some really good squid. And they're normally like little ones this time of year, but they're actually quite good. And the ones I caught the other day were quite good as well. So they're starting to get a lot of decent size already.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a really good squid season. Actually got clear water, haven't had much rain this year, and it's definitely the go,
Yep.
So we've got plenty of
Jig-wise,
squid jigs. Yeah, jig-wise, look, I've always said the Cephius are one of my go-tos. They're really, really good. We have and the clinch has got the rattle in it.
They've actually got the flash boost in it. They've got a little mirror.
They do a clinch rattle. Sorry, they do a clinch rattle as well. Stu didn't bring it up. He's stitched me up again. Anyhow, there is a clinch rattle.
Yep. The other good thing when you're drifting through the channels,
the Emeralds is rattle too.
Got a rattle.
Yeah, so does the clinch rattle.
The other good thing is before you find them and you start jigging, you can always just use little vibes. The little vibes I absolutely love. Yeah. And then when you feel stuff and you got it and they fall off and they got it and they fall off, generally they're squid, and then you can put down your jigs.
Yeah, that's right. So as I said, the vibes work really well, and the ZX41s by Eco Gear are great. Yeah. We've got a big order coming in next week, so we've got a few there, but next week they're all back in. Yep. That's what the boys on the River Charters normally use. Yep. And they work really well. And as bycatch, we get flounder, flatties, whiting, get
Tuskies, all that stuff.
Tuskies, Yep. I like the top minnows too, Stu. There's one thing you didn't show yet, but I will get you to show if you don't mind.
Just for the flatties, mate?
Yeah, for flatties. One of my go-tos again, top minnow with that 1/5 orange Nedlock's head on it. Oh, very good.
And Dougie, garfish, mate?
Yeah, so I went garfishing the other day. It was before that weather change, and I probably shouldn't have gone garfishing because I missed the tide. It's got to be like last to run in, first to run out. And once the tide, I was there mid-tide, the water got dirty and it was just running too hard. Yep. You need to try and keep, the secret is to keep your float just going out nice and slowly and your line vertically going with it. Once the tide starts running and your float quickly takes up your slack line, then your line goes like that. Even with heaps of things on it, it's just not natural. It doesn't work very well. So you've got to get that tide right. You've got to have a 2 hour window. Anywhere we go for carfishing, we have a 2 hour window. Unless you're off a jetty, we can go along with it. Yeah. So there's been heaps of gar on the Pumpin jetty area too, by the way, just so you know. But I don't know about this big swell. I think they're gone. Yeah. That was just before the swell come up. But garfish, great, big size, great fun for kids. Float fishing. Yeah. Yeah. So that rig's ready to go.
So
that
one
like
showed.
Yeah, that's it. Rig like that, mate. Yeah. Peel prawn, size of a rice bobble on the end of that long shank hook is the go-to. Yep. Stewie, freshwater, what's happening there, mate?
Freshwater, mate, it's definitely starting to cool down. Still a few bass around. Surface fishing will kind of taper off from now on in, and it'll be more slow rolling plastics and spinnerbaits and that stuff.
Right, okay.
So even the top minnows, they work an absolute treat out there. And
I think that paddle tail works quite well.
Yeah, anything with a paddle tail.
Yeah.
Just slow roll them along the banks.
Long and slender. It's funny, in the soft plastics for bass, and I've done a lot of bass fishing, as you have to, we use a long one with a paddle tail, and in the salt water we tend to use similar, but in the shape of the hard body lure we use a short fat one. It's complete opposite to the long skinny one, so it doesn't quite make sense. It should be using a short fat little soft plastic like that. But we use the long. And now get back to what I was going to say before. We did miss the crabs and the prawns, Stewie. What's that, the prawns, mate? Go back into the inshore now.
We've done about 400,000 kilometres on Tuesday.
And how'd it go, Stu?
We caught 0.
Wow, so Stewie does get zeros.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mate, first time for everything, as they always say. And no, it was very bad. So we drove up from Paradise Point, drove all the way up to Victoria Point, checked everywhere in between, there and back, and nothing. It was very average. They do bury, they do kind of move a lot with all this bad weather, and an extended blow that, they don't really like it. And I can vouch for that now. So
if anyone got them, what day was that, Stu?
Tuesday.
On Anzac Day. If anyone did get them that day, please let us know. Thank you. Okay, Stu.
But the crabs have still been really good.
Yeah, crabs have been good. Yep. So Muddies, Pimpamar River, Coomera River, Logan River, still up at Logan. They're up a bit further up now, sort of Redland Bay Channel entrance area, half out the river there. Or halfway from the entrance up, sorry. They were at the entrance. And I'd probably even try the Nerang River. Sand crabs, there's been a few sandies around there starting to show up. They're very late. But I'd definitely try the Western Channel, all the way from Gold Coast Bridge at Sundale down to no, Sovereign Island Bridge.
Yep.
Sticking about 10 foot of water, edge of the channel. Don't put your grab pots in the middle of the channel.
No, got to be outside.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, and I think that's probably about it.
Yeah.
Covered everything. 2 jacks around.
Yep.
Few. Yeah.
Few.
So beach fishing this weekend, big swell.
Probably
maybe Sunday or Monday on the public holiday. Yep. Give it a crack. Yeah, but we're here, guys. Give us a ring, pop in, whatever. Send us a text. We'll help you out.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the guys here
yep.
at WS Tackle World. And we're open all weekend, long weekend. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Tell your mates and jump onto Instagram as well. All our pages are out there. That's it. Okay, catch you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.